Well, hello, my beautiful internet friends. It's been a while since the last time I did a voiceover, but today that is exactly what I'm doing. So first things first, I am doing my brows, which I never do on camera, but I'm using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I'm underlining and overlining. Then I'm flipping the product over and brushing it out with a spoolie for more of a less intense look. Moving on, I do like defined brows, so I'm taking a little bit of concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm placing it directly underneath my brow and all over my eyelid to act as an eyelid primer. Moving on, I'm using the Kat Von D Metal Matte Eyeshadow Palette, and I'm taking this vanilla shade and I'm rocking it into my crease to make it easier for my transition color to lay on top of. Moving on, I'm taking this light brown shade in the palette and I'm rocking it back and forth with a Sigma E40 blending brush to act as my transition color. Once I have that transition color down, I'm going to go in with my lid color, and I'm using this really pretty burgundy shade on a flat shader brush, and I'm packing it all onto my eyelid. Once I have the shadow packed exactly where I want it, I'm going to take a Morphe M433 brush, and I'm really just going to buff out those edges because we don't want any harsh edges. We want it to be nice and blown out. Now you will start to notice when you start blending out that harsh edge, you'll start losing pigmentation on the lid. So what you want to do is go right back into that lid shade and pack it onto the lid once again with that Morphe M433 brush. The technique with this eye makeup look is to ensure that the majority of the product is on the lid and then it fades up and gradiates into the crease. You don't want any harsh edges. And here I'm just going right back into that flat shader brush so that way I can continue packing on the color. When creating halo eye makeup looks, you want to take a different color and place it in the very center of the lid. Typically, I gravitate more towards metallics, but you can use mattes, you can use whatever you want. So here, I'm taking the Pure Cosmetics Royalty Eye Polish, and I'm placing it directly in the center. This is going to act as a base for the Synergy eyeshadow I'm layering directly over top. Now, you can just use the eyeshadow on its own, but I wanted the base to really just stick to this eyeshadow and make it a little bit more foiled and intense. I'm just touching up the burgundy shade with a Morphe M433 brush, and then after that, I'm tight lining. I decided to use this Tarteist liner. I'm not really sure if it's a lip liner or a tight line pencil, but I decided to use it as a tight line pencil. Breaking all the rules. Ha! For mascara, I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which you guys know I love, and it feels really good to just bust it out and use it again because it makes my lashes look amazing. But even though it makes my lashes look amazing, I'm still gonna apply falsies. So today I'm using these Cocoa lashes in the style Misha, which are like my go-to very like natural and flirty lashes. I absolutely love them. They're so freaking cute. For foundation primer, I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. Who would have thought? Big shocker, right? Then moving on for foundation, I'm using the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation. This actually acts as a 2-in-1, so you can use it as a foundation and a concealer, but since I don't have a lighter shade, I'm just gonna use it as a foundation today. To blend this foundation out, I'm using a damp Real Techniques Miracle Sponge because it's quick, it's easy, and it's affordable. You feel me? For concealer today, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Light. This might even be fair because looking at it on the computer screen, it is a tad bit too light for my skin, but we're gonna make it work. To blend everything out, I'm gonna use this mini Miracle Sponge by Real Techniques. Isn't it so cute? It fits like directly underneath the pockets of my eyes and it just like blends everything out like a dream. Now to set this concealer in place, I'm just going to take the highlight shade in my Lorac Pro Contour Palette and I'm just going to, pat it in place so that way my concealer is nice and set and it does not crease throughout the day. To set the rest of my face makeup in place, I'm going to use the Benefit Hello Flawless Face Powder, which is one of my absolute favorites. Now, if you don't need extra coverage, I definitely recommend using more of a translucent powder as opposed to a powder that's really going to give you coverage because we've already applied liquid foundation. This is my preference. You do what works for you. Moving on to the rest of the eyes, I'm going to take that burgundy shade on a flat definer brush by Sigma, and I'm really just going to buff it onto my lower lash line. And once I have it in place, I'm going to take a pencil brush by Sigma to really just smoke everything out. And I feel like this really just brings the look together. Isn't it cute? We're not done yet though. So I'm going to just pop on a little bit of mascara on my lower lashes. This is that same Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Like I said, I love it, and I think it makes my lower lashes look bomb.com. Now, since this is a halo eye makeup look, I'm going even further, and I'm taking that Synergy shade and I'm placing it in the very center on my lower lash line to really just mimic the lid. And I think this just really brings everything together and gives it a really nice pop. To bronze, I'm using the Lorac Pro Contour Palette, and I'm taking the lightest shade in the palette on this Morphe brush, which I'll link down below. This is really just going to give my face a little bit more, you know, color, because once you apply foundation and powder, you tend to get washed out in the process. Moving on to highlight my face, I'm taking the Tarte's Highlight Palette, and I'm taking the shade called Strobe, and I'm placing it on the very highest points of my cheekbones to really just give me that fresh looking glow. I absolutely love this highlight palette. I think it is amazing and such high quality. Now, moving on from highlight, I'm going to apply a little bit of blush. Today, I'm using the Tarte 12 Hour Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Exposed. I think this blush is so universal. It's gonna look good with a ton of different skin tones and also look really good paired with a ton of different eye looks. Moving on to clean up my contour, I'm using the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm just placing this directly underneath my contour, like I said, to clean it up and give me a little bit more of a sharp edge. I'm gonna let it bake there a little bit while I apply my lip color. For the lips today, I'm using the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade called Bow and Arrow. This is probably one of my favorite lip colors in her line. It's such a pretty, unique nude brown. It's very hard to describe, but like I said, it's really, really pretty. And what I really love about her formula is that it's not drying and it's very comfortable on the lips. And that is pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon.